Women's Sports Week. We have Eloiza with us today. Hi, Eloiza.
Hi, how are you?
Good to have you here. And guys, would you believe that Eloisa and I, we met at the airport, and she also had her son with her, and something really funny happened with my coffee. It was about to drop off from the table, which I thought it's a stable table, but it wasn't. But it happened to be a very funny moment. So that's where Eloisa and I connected, and we connected on Instagram, and that's when I found out Eloisa's passion into running. So today Eloisa is going to talk to us about her passion into running and how did it start. So Eloisa, up to you now.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. So basically, I used to be very into gym and physical activities in general, and I used to do a lot of spinning classes in the gym. And one time in lockdown, they just decided to close everything. So they closed the schools, they closed the gym, and I couldn't really work out as much. So I decided to take my son out in the rack of my bike and go around the park on the bike. And I thought that would be the same effect as a spinning class or something like that. But then one of those outings, his feet got stuck in the back wheel. And oh my God, I got so frightened. We thought that he broke his feet. And at that time, we couldn't really contact the GP in person. We had to be an emergency because it was like kind of the apathy of COVID. So then I kind of, but it was crazy. But thank God it was nothing serious. And we were very lucky that we had like the park in that 2 kilometers rules in Ireland. So yeah, we were very lucky. But what happened is, in the end it was nothing serious, but I got really scared of getting my bike again and input my son. So after do some workouts at home, the schools open again, and I decided to go for those guided runs. So I downloaded an app actually. Was the first contact with a serious runner in my life, a serious running coach, was through an app. So I thought that was very motivating for me.
Right. Saw a lot of your updates that you go running in the Phoenix Park every day and the War Memorial Gardens as well. So how did it turn into a passion then?
So basically I had to do something like to regulate myself, because I think when you live far away from your country and your family, because I'm originally from Brazil, but I'm living in 12 years in Ireland, and I have no family in Ireland.
Nope.
Yeah, so I mean, sometimes it gets a bit overwhelming to be a single parent in Ireland with no family. So I said to myself, I have to do something that make me happy in the morning at least. So kind of grow in the day, like this feeling of accomplished, that you accomplished something during your day or your journey in long term. So it makes me feel healthy, that's how I started to do it. Yeah. So the app is like you have to connect your app in your phone, and they have like guided runs, just like guided meditation. So the coach he started to speak from couch to 5 kilometers. So that's how I started. And I felt really like a loser in the beginning because I couldn't run in not even 1 kilometer, and my feet is totally flat. And I didn't have a clue about running shoes, running gear, nothing like that at all. Because the only thing I used to do is the spinning class. So I just went with normal shoes and zero cushion. So I had lots of challenges in the beginning and injury as well.
Yeah. So how was it like? So when you had those challenges, right? So you could run like 500 meters first, then 1 kilometer first, then how did you keep going? How did you keep that motivation going? I feel you, because when I started running, the same story in COVID, that how can I keep myself busy, because it started getting very depressing. My family is not here. I couldn't meet a lot of my friends. So I started running, but it was hard initially to get going. But then I built up and it was incredible. So yeah, how was it for you?
Yeah, that's true. So I started I had a friend who used to do like Ironman and lots of competitions, more like a pro athlete, but he passed away in 2020 tragically. And then I was just feeling a bit shocked in the beginning, and I was feeling like just to walk the whole park. I used to walk and walk and walk, because I was just like, that was my way to cope with everything, And then I remember one time we had a coffee together, me and him, and he said to me, "Oh, do you know what I did last time after our coffee? I just run 10 kilometers." And in my head, it was just like, "Oh my God, you run 10 kilometers!" It was totally impossible. It's like completely impossible to run 10 kilometers in my head, totally. So, well, after he passed away, I started to just take him more serious because I thought, oh, I would just do something that he would like to see, if he was alive. So I just started, yeah. But the thing is that I felt really, I was a bad runner. I'm not still unbelievable runner, I mean, that's not even my goal. My goal is just like to never get injury and keep being able to run long distance. But yeah, the beginning was very challenging, and I just started to take one day at a time, and to run makes me feel better. So then that's how I started, together with sea swimming as well, because I think that's a great combination, by the way, even for muscle recovery and everything. So yeah, so there's a great group that called Sea Rockers. You should check their Instagram, by the way. I went maybe put the link or something. They're amazing, and they do sea swimming almost every day. So yeah, so I go with them sometimes.
Wow. Where did you swim, Eloisa?
Usually between Party Foot, Sea Point, Greystones. They have a variety of locations.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Definitely.
interesting.
We'll check them out, because this summer I'm really looking to get into the water. So that's one of the
No, definitely. Yeah, and then totally change your energy and change your mood, just like running, So for me,
and especially coming back to the same point, that when you are alone in the country, sometimes you can feel everything can get really overwhelming. So I think water helps with that. And I have found that
100%, and be in touch with the nature. And sometimes people see the sunset, sometimes sunrise, depends on your schedule, and work schedule, and they make it work. But when the running for me was really amazing. And the thing is that I'm very bad with directions and to establish a route. So when I start to get a bit more intermediate, like after 5 kilometers, well, my first 10 kilometers, actually, I cried because I could never believe that was possible. And I took, I think, 1 year to achieve that, because of my flat feet and my wrong shoes, I had a problem with my knees. And thank God I had an amazing GP that said to me to not stop running. So he just passed me exercises, and that was perfect for me. So yeah, and then before there's always that day that you never want to go. There are always that day that is the last thing you want to do in your life.
There is always that day.
Getting up and work out, But the thing is that on those days, I used to remember how I feel after, and I used to put a video in YouTube that calls running motivation. If you Google that, it's hilarious, because there's a guy shouting like, "What is your reason?" Something like that. It's just crazy, But that, like, why do you run? But that for me was just enough to get up and run that day. So that works. If whatever works for you,
Yeah. And may I also ask you that your friend, what was the reason for him to pass away?
So then in the end of the tests was like sudden death with a heart attack. But that was but while he was kite surfing in Dublin Beach. Yeah. But that was really, really devastating.
And was he an inspiration for you to keep going?
100%. Yeah, he did Ironman Barcelona, and he did a swim like Escape from Alcatraz, and lots of other Irish competitions. And he used to be like one of the people from the Piranha Triathlon Club. I think it's in Clontarf, and they're amazing people. But I've never been in this club, but I mean, they're amazing athletes over there. They're really, really competitive athletes. Yeah, I'm not in this level, I think, yet, because I just do it more for hobby at the moment. Yeah, but I'm training for my first marathon of my life, actually.
And which year it's gonna be? It's in Ireland?
In October, 2023 Dublin Marathon in October. Yeah.
So what does the training look like now? Would you like to talk about training?
It's insane. In my case, I'm doing it's a 40 weeks training. So I call that it's just like a baby train, because when you get pregnant, you have to wait 40 weeks to have your baby. So I'm treating it that so it's like a baby marathon kind of. But No, it's crazy because you have to pay attention in everything. Your sleep schedule, you have you have to really take totally off your alcohol intake or really like go low in alcohol and processed foods.
Yeah.
So and then you have to test your body and you have to know your body and respect your limits and also like respect yourself, and see how you feel after those long runs, because there are days that you have to run 20 kilometers. And then you don't know. Sometimes some people took 2 days to recover from that. Some people take 1 week to recover from that. So you really have to see how your body responds to all the training. Yeah. So usually I advise if you are more than 21 kilometers preparing for a marathon, or if you already run a half marathon, maybe get a professional coach if you want to be more serious about. But the reason why I got into the races was not really my goal at all to do a marathon or anything like that. I just didn't know a nice routes, around Dublin. So, and I'm very bad with directions, very bad. So for example, I always wanted to run in Sandy Mount, because I think it's a very nice landscape. And I always wanted to run in Clontarf. But I mean, I was afraid to get lost. And then in this event, you just follow everybody, so it's just much easier. So I started to apply myself to these events. And I was always running alone in the lockdown, so I was never used to be running group. It was very weird, very, very different for me. Everybody like runs in group and they run talking to each other, like they have running buddies and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't breathe if I have a running buddy or something.
Like you, Eloisa, I cannot talk when I'm running, and I cannot even talk when I'm running. I need to be really focused and there like a horse, Yeah.
But I think this happens because normally if you get like out of breath when you're running with your running buddy, because they are probably running in a very fast pace. I mean, much faster than you should be running. So could be a reason, because for me it was in the past. But for me, I mean, when I ran my first half marathon, it was a priceless feeling, So that was put me into keep doing those events, because the people call races, but I call event because I'll never win them. I will never win. But definitely I call events or races, but they are fun because you get to know people, you get a lovely medal. I mean, I show to my son. I think it's a great inspiration for the kids. Like if you have
I love fish. I love these. Too here.
Like this is amazing. Sometimes I bring to the playground where my son is playing with his friends and stuff, and they love to see the medals, and it's just a buzz. So it's super cool. And it's a great motivation for them, and that's good. But the feeling of crossing the line, I think in the first half marathon for me was just unbelievable, because for me it was something that I could never do, really. And that's amazing to get to know your limit. That's the main thing.
Incredible. So, can you say? Would you say you have a quote, the favorite quote, or they say the North Star quote, on which you base your life in? So for me, it's like always continue to discover yourself, because there is so much untapped potential inside of you that when you meet new people, you talk to them, just taking that
100%.
Talking to them, you get to learn something new, and that helps you with your self-discovery. So is there some sort of a North Star that you follow in your life?
100%. For me, it's like the mindfulness that running brings to me, because after a few kilometers you get, for me, it's like meditation, I get to like suck it in all the environment. So I usually get all the trees, all the powerful of the nature that I'm running around, so just pay attention in the movement of the trees or something like that. Or like when I breathe, it's like I just sometimes I close my eyes, and if I am in a straight line and I feel like I'm flying or something like that, it's like just make me feel so good, It's just like empty my mind. And it just kind of it's a clear all the negative energy for me. That's very
Absolutely.
important.
And also so we always start smaller, like say go 500 meters or 1 kilometer, and it feels so hard. But how easy for us to build up on it. to reach 10 kilometers, just a matter of 2 months of consistency and discipline. It's so easy to
No, 100%. But you also have to really, be kind with yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Like some runs or some workouts are really difficult, and sometimes you're going to break in the middle and like, oh, it's not a good day, or you're going to be beating yourself up and like, next time you just do it better, just don't be hard on yourself. I'd like do your own race in your own pace as well. Like, because if you respect your body, you can run more consistently, and consistency is the key for running, in my opinion,
Can I ask you one thing? So it's a very common belief, maybe when I used to cycle, or maybe when I used to do different other sports, and I heard from people saying that if you run too much, there is a chance that you might develop some issue with your knees in your old age. You hear it all the time. So what do you think about it? Like, as you are in running now, you're getting coaching as well, and you perform trying for marathons and making sure your diet is well. So what is your thinking about it?
Yeah, so for example, I'm not a physiotherapist, and I am not giving a professional opinion in any kind of those subjects, but speaking for my personal experience, I think it's very important for you to do your stretchings and warm-ups most of the time. Yoga is an amazing complement for running, because usually you will feel your hamstrings a bit shorter if you run very often. So to do a yoga poses would really be extremely helpful. And I think it's very important sometimes, maybe a massage, or to have those foam rolling things that really helps. And the mindset very important, and your limiting beliefs, because there are people who have an intense tolerance to pain, and they would be like feeling some pain. The pain would always exist, even if you're a weightlifter, if you're a ballet dancer, ice skater, or a runner. One day you're going to feel pain somewhere, or even if you are going to the gym randomly, you will definitely feel pain as well when you work out. So it's a part of your muscle growing, or your strength, or your toning, process. But I think if you use this as a mindset as a non-stoppable thing, because you'll be like, oh, it doesn't matter if I feel a tiny bit of pain, it's okay, that will heal and I will continue. Or don't let the pain stop you, or you investigate the pain and see if you think it's something really serious, because could happen. I heard runners that like broke the femur in a race. I was shocked to hear, really, but my friend, that happened to her. So and then investigate if it's a pain that you cannot tolerate. Investigate that with a physiotherapist or GP, definitely. And but most of the time, it's a pain that is sometimes is like your mindset, or it's just like because you are working out and your body is responding to a new form of activity, So it could be normal, but it couldn't. So it depends.
And okay, let's go back to your North Star. So I think we literally just shift over conversation, but we missed out on North Star.
So I believe, I used to do a lot of meditation. I believe, for example, that when you connect with a supreme source or something, I think that everything that could flow easily in our life, it would. So I tend to think, for example, that my mind is a sky and every thought is a cloud. So I think that every time you are in that state of plenitude, or like happy with yourself, or like after a workout, or in touch with nature, you always have that, you're back to the sky, you're back to your inner self, your inner essence, and you just watch your thoughts, because that's a big thing. If you're identified with your thoughts start to manipulate you, and then it's very easy to get like upset, anxious, or like stressed, and that would create bad things for yourself and for your energy, I think.
Right, beautifully said. And Neely, yeah, talking about the universe and spirituality is always close to my heart because my life is depend on that, believing in the universe.
Oh, that's amazing.
Always asking for help to the universe and just talking too much with the universe.
Yes, no, there is a neuroscientist that calls Dr. Joe Dispensa. I think we can put his Instagram in here. But he had a book, amazing book that called Becoming Supernatural, and was not one of my favorite books when I started to run. And I was just like, okay, we can do this, because we have an infinite checklist, I believe, every day. And we could fit something that is like, it's your time, it's for you. If it's not running, it's swimming, cycling, whatever. But think about a physical activity or a sport that you love or that you could enjoy, because if you don't enjoy, you won't consistently keep going.
Agree with you. So, beautiful thought, beautiful North Star. Okay, and now let's go back to the coaching. So do you really recommend people to go for coaching because they help with your diet and the consistent practice? So yes, let's talk about.
So I mean, it depends on so basically people who cannot really afford, they start to be a bit more amateur elites or runners, and they really get the nutritionists to cope to deal with their food intake and calorie intake. And they get their running coach to do the plan. So it's a weekly plan, and they establish the type of training they are gonna have based on their goals. Because some people have the goal of running, let's say VHI mini marathons, and some people want to run Valencia Marathon, Berlin Marathon, London now is in April, right? So depends on the goal, and the coach would be a tailor-made plan for you. Would be doing that. So I have one amazing coach that is a friend of mine that called Eloisa in Dublin, and I'm currently have like one coach from my country actually, and he sent his plan online. Okay. So he called Rafael. So in Dublin, I really recommend Eloisa, and he's an amazing guy. But he's currently going to Boston Marathon to run. So his time is amazing. I think he's doing it 2 hours and 30 something minutes. It's just he's really dedicated person. And it's not his full-time job. He has another job apart of that. So he's really there's a lot of merit to this guy.
And he is in Dublin, no?
He is living currently in Dublin, and very close to Ashtown.
Okay, interesting. So I'll give a link for Zayas as well.
Zayas, yes, definitely.
Lovely.
And the nutritionist, to be honest, I don't know anybody in Dublin, and I don't go with any nutritionist because and I should, to be honest, because I think it's a huge thing, super important. But I get so hungry, and I eat most of the time since I start to do sports, and I have to cook every day for my son. So we just try to be as healthy as possible, but I don't count calories. I actually don't count anything. We just try to avoid processed foods.
And you don't care much about carbs, rice, potatoes.
To be honest, we eat lots of carbs, but I prefer sweet potato than the normal potato. I don't know why, but just for my body, I respond better.
Okay, and then protein obviously, but because you're running a lot, and that's why you need more carbs. Do you know, I used to watch the marathon runners documentary on Kalenji, the village in Kenya, because most of the
that's awesome.
All about his life. So I was amazed to know how less meat they eat, but they eat a lot of beans, ugali, the corn flour. I'm
very curious to try this ugali. I found a place in Dublin that sells.
Make your ugali. I bought the corn flour to try ugali, and I do it.
Oh, really? Wow. Was it nice?
Their diet is ugali. From there, they get the carbs, and the beans is protein, and the spinach and all the green leaves. And then they drink kefir. So that your fermented yogurt, that gives a lot of protein.
I think that's very important for the gut system.
Very, very important.
That makes sense.
And it's so traditional in the Indian system as well. And I was amazed that these runners from Kenya, they drink a lot of kefir, that fermented drink. They have a different name to that, but for the more protein intake. So and they do take a lot of carbs because they need it. Any funny experience or some scariest experience that happened during?
Of course. I mean, I would just like tell everybody to not compare themselves to any Instagram profile or pages or this and that, because it is just like silly. And I think that like you can't push your body more than you can chew in the beginning, especially because running is a long-term activity that would give you a long-term results, in my opinion. You can't just like start running and want to achieve those match times. And if you see the background of these people, they're running for 5 years, 10 years, so even for me it was very difficult to achieve the time that I want. And now I regress a bit on my time, so I'm trying to pick it up again. So there are ups and downs always, like everything in life.
I love you that you said it, that there is always ups and downs in life, and never compare yourself with another person, because it's your journey at the moment.
And also enjoy the events, and then if you go to your first race event, you will maybe feel that everybody is running in front of you and everybody's fine, and sometimes you feel like, oh my god, this is so difficult, or like you feel like you want to start walk in the middle of maybe Sandy Mount night run or something like that, if that is a 10 kilometers race. So sometimes you feel like it's a bit too much or something, but in the end, it's worth it. It's worth it every minute, and nobody would care about your pace. Just grab your medal, grab your banana, enjoy yourself, like have a water, and then apply for another one, or it just gets you motivated, because every time that I have like an event planned or paid for, it just like give me more motivation to keep my training going, So I train every week at least 3 or 4 times a week, at least 4 times now, because now it's gonna be crazy.
That's wonderful. And how do you manage it, all your schedule while along with your son? So is it?
I know. No, it's crazy. I do everything, but I'm working remote in the moment, so it's easier for me. And I do the school run, and then he has after school activities. And it's just Monday I have to bring him to the tennis. That is not in the school. That's the only difference. But it's just we try our best. The house is always messy. And the social life sometimes is good, sometimes there's none in existence.
I can understand. I feel you. Okay. Great. No, this was a wonderful conversation, and at some stage I definitely look forward to running with you, because the same thing happened in my life too. Ups and downs, priorities changing.
No, of course, No, get in touch anytime, and then we can go to the park and for a little run or a big run.
Was that when I saw you consistently running in the park, I'm like, wow, she's just living close by, and I should be running with her, but it didn't.
I'm very lucky. I live really close because I don't own a car and I don't drive. So for me,
me too. I don't drive. I don't drive right now, but living so close to the park, we should take more and more opportunities to go out.
Well, I mean, we are lucky that at least in my area, the Dublin public transport is really a good service. So I can't complain.
Lovely.
So
Great, awesome. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
And all the best. And continue with your practice to the best you can. And yes, we'll look forward to the marathon.
Thanks. I just wanted to say that I will be running, and I also will be supporting the charity as I am the Autism charity in Ireland for the Dublin Marathon.
May I also ask you, was there a particular reason to support the Autism charity?
My child was diagnosed with autism when he was 3 years old. So so after a long time of therapy, he's doing really well in school. So I'm very pleased. And but there are a few challenges here and there that only like the additional needs parents would notice. But I mean, we do the best we can.
And would you believe there is a stat that kids with autistic syndrome they always outperform in their life. They always outperform in.
They're
This is
amazing. That's true.
incredible.
Yeah. But they are very hard on themselves sometimes, yeah, because I think they notice some specific small difference from the others, and sometimes they could be very self-critic, you know.
Truly. Yes.
So
So I have everyone. I have friends and I know people who have been autistic in their 20s and 30s, but they are the smartest people I know. Really.
Me too. That's incredible. Yeah,
So,
that's true.
yeah.
That's true. So anyway, but thank you so much for
It's
your
also
chat.
good to call out the autistic, the cause that you're supporting. Yes, it's should know about.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't mind, I will put also the charity link over here for the for the my marathon. Thank you so much,
Eloisa. Lovely to have you here. Lots of how
for you too. Okay, thank you. It was a great. Have enjoy
you
your
too as
evening
well.
then.
Enjoy your evening and take care and see you sometime soon.